I feel like I realized recently that one of my missions in this life is to be selfish, and I think especially for women, we're not really taught or encouraged to put ourselves first. It feels like blasphemous, right? It's like, and using lonely moments as times to pour into myself, opportunities to pour into me, and taking the opportunity, right? And you seeing it as an opportunity, not a disadvantage or a negative thing. Living life beyond survival mode. And that's what stepping into my dream self feels like. My dream woman is abundant. She gives from overflow. She pours into herself first. She means that I take my alone time much more seriously, and my alone time, or my time not working in that day job, is very sacred, and I take it way more serious now. I take my time way more seriously now, that I pour into myself every morning before I go to my day job. Whether it's getting ready, I always get ready every day. I do my makeup and I try to look presentable, and I put myself together because that's the image that I want to look put together. I want to look like dignified, right? Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Diana, and on my YouTube channel, I like to show my life as a writer and a filmmaker. So I'm a writer and a filmmaker, but I also like to talk about self-development and spirituality related topics on my channel, because I think that my artist journey and my self-growth journey are one. I think, like, as I've evolved as an artist, I've also been evolving in my self-development journey, and I wanted to make this channel a space for you if you're also a creative woman or creative person who also wants to grow and become your best self, but it's not always clear, right? Because the creative path is not linear, it's not certain, it's not clear cut, and so, but there are still ways that we can nurture our self-growth. So this is a space for that. And in today's video, I want to talk about my rebrand. Okay, side note, I do have my laptop on the side with my outline for the video because I have a lot that I want to go over, and I want to make sure that I stay on track and that I don't miss anything. So something I've been thinking about that I really want to share with you is my rebrand. I feel like I've been working on my rebrand, and what I mean by that is it's more about stepping into my dream self and becoming my dream woman. And I feel like I'm now in my mid-20s and I'm gaining more clarity on what I want for my dream life and the person I have to be to get there. Because when you think about it, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, you have to become a certain type of person to have that reality, because the person you are right now needs to take steps to get in there, right, into that dream reality. You have to maybe take certain actions, you have to cut out certain habits, you have to start certain habits. So you have to really get clear on the type of person you need to be in order to get that dream reality. And I feel like I finally understood that. And the reason I finally understood that concept recently was because I didn't know what I wanted for so many years, teenage years, early 20s. I was figuring it out. I was figuring out my path. I was figuring out what I liked, what I disliked, learning about myself. And that is totally fine and totally normal. The journey is normal. And I am so grateful for the past versions of myself, my younger versions of myself that got me to this place. I learned so much in my teenage years and in my early 20s through self-exploration, right? Figuring out what I wanted in my life and what I didn't, and what type of career I wanted, what type of person I want to be. And now I feel like I'm at a point where I got really clear recently on what I want, and I'm finally in a season where I can pour into myself, and I'm growing more into myself. And I think this is possible because I finally embraced loneliness, and I stopped resisting things and resisting loneliness. And what I mean by this is that when I started my artist journey, and I think I really became an artist, or was when I started this YouTube channel in 2022. And the reason is because, if you're an artist, you're always an artist, right? Like, I was a writer since as early as I can remember. I've always been attracted to the arts, whether it was theater, film, writing poetry. I've always been an artistic person, but I really understood that I was an artist and really claimed that in 2022 when I started my YouTube channel and when I was able to explore my creativity publicly and to be seen publicly and to assume that identity as a creative. And that came with bouts of loneliness because I was having a different lifestyle than I did before. There were so many changes. Suddenly, I had this project, right, making YouTube videos that I had to dedicate time to, and I couldn't dedicate time to things that I had time for before, like other people, other things, right? And that came with like I was unsure. I was like, am I doing something wrong? Why does my path suddenly look different than others? Because when you're a creative and you're pursuing a creative career, you will have a creative goal, whether you want to be a successful YouTuber, maybe you want to be a successful writer and filmmaker, maybe you want to be a musician, right? All these things require a sense of discipline and a sense of like you can't of sacrifice in a way, because you can't just be available for everyone and everything. Maybe you could in the past, like me. That's totally me. Like, and then once I committed, I was like, okay. And then once I started, I went to college, I did a film major, so I was in film school and I was learning more too about what my place was in filmmaking because I was very new to it. And I made my first documentary short film last year for my college thesis film. I graduated last year from college, and then I made my first short fiction film, which is coming out this summer. I'm in post-production for it. I'm plugging my project right now. And I also have an Etsy shop. I have a newsletter. So I have a creative empire. I'm trying to speak more positive. Like I have a creative empire. I'm building it. I am a writer and a filmmaker. I am an artist. You know, I'm trying to which is part of it too, changing the words I use to describe myself and changing my identity. And that's the whole thing. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video, like identity and shifting that. And so anyway, back to the bouts of loneliness. I used to resist it so much, and I used to be so hard on myself for it because I was like, why can't I show up for others? Why can't I be normal? And I used to compare myself to other people and who were not in the creative path or like creative career, right, path. Like I was like, why am I not normal like them? And they can have these really, you know what I mean? Like, and I really was hard on myself for it. Because also when you have a non-conventional thing, right? Maybe you want to, like I said, I'm using the YouTube example. You want to do a YouTube channel like me, and it's unconventional maybe in your community and people around you haven't really done it. That takes loneliness as well, because maybe you feel misunderstood and you're like, and it's you're changing, right? But you're also changing in a way that's going to attract like-minded people toward you. So it's a positive change, but it feels uncomfortable, and I feel like I was resisting it. But now with the change I'm making is I'm like not resisting it anymore, and whenever I feel misunderstood, and maybe I'm learning to pay attention to my thoughts and nurture myself and pour into myself, and using lonely moments as times to pour into myself, opportunities to pour into me, and taking the opportunity, right? And you seeing it as an opportunity, not a disadvantage or a negative thing. And another thing I wanted to talk about is I feel like I realized recently that one of my missions in this life is to be selfish, and it's not in a bad way or in a way that harms others or hurts others, but it's a way to pour into myself and heal myself. And I think that being selfish is actually letting myself give to others from overflow, because when you give to others from depletion, it just leaves you just empty and dry. And trust me, I know what it feels like to like just feel like I'm giving and giving and giving, and I feel not like I'm not nurtured or taken care of. But once I'm like in the season where I'm embracing my selfishness, and I'm like, no, if I pour into myself and I'm overflowing myself, then I can give to others in an even more generous way, and in a better way. And I think especially for women, we're not really taught or encouraged to put ourselves first. It feels like blasphemous, right? It's like, what do you mean be selfish? What about all these people? What about, and what about all the people that you should take care of? Or, you know what I mean? Like, we're kind of encouraged to be like nurturing and motherly, and I feel like in a way we are, and that's beautiful, right? Anyone can be nurturing and motherly, and that's totally beautiful. But at this end, but there can be moments as well when you can put yourself first. Maybe you pursue a hobby that pours into you. Maybe you want to go exercise and you want to pour into yourself before you start serving others, right? And I think an example of this for me, a concrete example of my recently, is that I have a full-time day job, right? I don't make money from my creative career yet, but I will. I'm like speaking positively, but also trying to share my journey with you and be honest with you right now, so that you can know like the truth about where I'm at. And I don't want to present a false, misleading image. But yes, I work a full-time day job at the moment, and it's a job where I have to constantly serve others. And when I'm in that role, right, I step into like, okay, I step into serving, and it's a service job, so I'm serving others all day, constantly. And I leave that job feeling really exhausted. Like I have to go home and nap for like an hour or 2 hours, because I'm falling asleep after, like on my commute back, right? But when I'm leaving that job. But I will say that means that I take my alone time much more seriously, and my alone time, or my time not working in that day job, is very sacred, and I take it way more serious now. I take my time way more seriously now, and I think that ties back into becoming my dream woman, because I think my dream woman and the person I need to be to achieve my dreams and my goals of my creative film projects, right? That person, like, she guards her time. She takes her time seriously. She respects her time. So I'm doing that now. And how I do this is that I pour into myself every morning before I go to my day job, whether it's getting ready. I always get ready every day. I do my makeup and I try to look presentable, and I put myself together, because that's the image that I want to look put together. I want to look like dignified, right? And so that's the image that I want, and that's the image that my dream woman has. So I always get ready. I always do my makeup every morning, and that helps me feel confident, and that helps me show up even better, because when I know I look good, I feel good, and then I'm like presenting a very positive attitude to the world. And I always get compliments on my makeup, and it just all around positive energy. I also work sometimes on my creative projects. If I have time, I'll work on my script. I'll work on my feature film treatment. I'll work on something. I'll do some writing, or maybe I'll write a few things I'm grateful for. Maybe I'll scribble down ideas, right? Anything. I work on my projects, my creative projects, right? Because my day job is not related to my creative path. It's an unrelated field, but it's what's providing me stability right now, which I'm super grateful for. And it's a stepping stone, right? And it's a valuable stepping stone. I've also been trying to have healthier habits. Oh my God. I used to always drink coffee on an empty stomach right when I wake up. I'm like, I need coffee right when I wake up. And recently I've been weaning off caffeine a little bit, like drinking less coffee, but also not drinking coffee on an empty stomach, because I was inspired by Tam Carr's recent video. I love Tam Carr on YouTube. She posted a video recently, and I watched it and I implemented her healthy habits. So definitely check out her video. She said that like it spikes your cortisol, so it makes you more stressed when you drink coffee right away on an empty stomach when you first wake up. And I was like, yeah, that explains why I feel stressed a lot. So I've been trying to manage my stress, and I'm trying to be softer. This summer has been a summer of softness for me. Yeah, I've been trying to eat a salty breakfast first, because if you eat a sugary breakfast, I've been learning about nutrition. If you eat a sugary breakfast, it makes you crave sugar more throughout the day, and it gives you a crash. So you should eat a salty breakfast, like avocado toast, eggs. And I'm telling you, I knew this stuff though. I've known this for a few years now, and I don't always implement it, and I haven't been implementing it up until recently because I know it. But yeah, like I said, it takes discipline, and it takes like you have to push yourself to do the healthy habits once you know them. And then I've also been doing gua sha every day so I can activate my lymph nodes, because that helps with water retention, and it helps your body let go of fluids, right? Because you know what I'm saying, like I've been just implementing so many healthy stuff and nutrition stuff, and drinking a lot more water, making sure I get my exercise in, whether it's going to the gym, going on a nature walk. I've been saying morning affirmations. I record my morning affirmations in my voice memo, so I have like a voice memo recording, and I listen to it every morning while I'm getting ready. I'm prioritizing sleep and rest, making sure I'm sleeping. I've also been limiting even my creative work time intentionally to let myself have playtime. So this leads into my next point about solo dates and investing in yourself without shame. So yes, I've been going on solo dates and enjoying some of my money that I've been making from my day job by letting myself go on a solo trip. I've been to the botanical garden recently, and it's a garden in New York. It's super beautiful. I went to a Yankees game for the first time recently by myself, and it's because I was always curious. I've never been to a Yankees game, even though I'm a native New Yorker, been here for a long time, and I've never gone to a Yankees game. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give myself a touristy New York experience, or like not a touristy, but like a real New Yorker experience, right? A quintessential New York experience. I bought a hat. It was really fun. I had a really good time by myself. So I've been limiting creative work intentionally. What do I mean by that? I have been giving myself time to play. I think my solo dates are my time to play. I also have been watching rom-coms. I've been watching TV, like sitcoms that make me laugh, like really lighthearted stuff, and allowing myself to have downtime without shame, have time where I'm like doing nothing, right? And by investing in yourself without shame, that could be a solo date. That could be buying yourself books. Recently, I'm not trying to promote consumerism, right? But I bought myself a few things that I feel like it added so much to me, right? I bought books that I've been wanting to read. That's helping me gain more knowledge and helping me level up. I bought this salt lamp. And I really love it. I needed like a lamp for my room that had a warm, glowy light. It's about, you can invest in books, journals, candles, like things that are maybe like not essential, right? Like I don't need this salt lamp to survive. Like I'll live just fine, but that's not the point, right? Even solo dates. Yeah, I'll live without a solo date, right? But it's about remembering beyond just survival mode and living life. That was a good point that I want to repeat. Living life beyond survival mode. And that's what stepping into my dream self feels like. My dream woman is abundant. She gives from overflow. She pours into herself first. She makes sure she's good. And then from overflow, she can give generously to others, because I love being generous. I love when I'm generous and I give to others just like freely. And I provide for others. I serve others. Even my job, I have moments, my day job, I have moments. I love what I do. I do love serving others, right? For the time period that I have in that job. And it's not that I don't like serving others or it's being selfish completely, right? It's about like I said, giving from overflow, giving from abundance. And I feel abundant when I let myself have these little treasures that are not just for my survival, that are not just for survival mode. Like this freaking Himalayan salt lamp. This is abundant to me. What else can be abundant? A tea. Make yourself tea. I like tea. I like matcha tea. I've been drinking like a ginger tea that I have. Things like that, right? That are very soothing. Watch a movie that makes you laugh and makes you laugh out loud. It makes you crack up. That's abundant. And again, back to the solo date point, living life without waiting for someone else. That's a huge thing. My dream woman, she gives herself the experiences that she wants, you know? If she wants to go see a Yankees game, she's gonna go just cause just for fun, and she's gonna have a blast, you know, with or without someone. Don't wait around for someone else, right? Like, if whatever you want to experience, find a way you can do that. I'm giving myself the life, you know, I dreamt of having with someone else, right? I feel like a lot of my younger years, when I was figuring things out, being messy, being a young person, being a teenager in my early 20s, I always thought I needed to have, or I really yearned to have a romantic partner, someone to do things with, someone to love me and to see me the way I wanted to be seen. And I also came to a point recently where I was like, I can do that for myself. And like, romantic love is beautiful and great. And I know that I'm going to experience it one day, but I'm not going to be in a season of chasing it or being like, oh my God, like if I don't have it, my life isn't complete. I want to, again, attract someone from a place of overflow where I'm like good on my own, where I'm like giving myself what I need, because then I can attract someone without being like filling a void, right? Or I can attract someone from abundance, from being my most abundant self. And I think that's gonna be even better, you know, that's going to be an even better experience. I love love. I love rom-coms. When I went to the Yankees game, I was trying to have my moment like in the Netflix rom-com Set It Up when they go to the Yankees game. Comment if you've seen Set It Up. Also, it reminded me of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days when they go to a basketball game, but you know, the sports game vibe. And I was like, you know, like I was having my moment by myself, but I was still romanticizing it. And I still have that romanticness, I guess you can say, and that romantic way of seeing things. But again, there's a way that I'm enjoying it by myself first and enjoying my own company. And it just feels really good. And I've been saying no more, you know, like no to things that don't align fully and are not fitting in with my priorities maybe. And I've been trying, I think this could be going with my prefrontal lobe is like almost developing. I'm 24 now, but I turn 25 next year and I'm so excited. It feels really good. I feel like I'm finally more put together and peaceful than I've ever been before. And I see things in a different way for sure. And I'm prioritizing financial stability. So I've been saying no more and to things that don't align with that, right? Like things that are going to drain me and things that I can make time for, because I don't make time for everything and everyone like I used to when I was younger, because now I have a clear sense of what actually aligns with me and what actually feels aligned. And so I'm prioritizing peace. I'm saying no. I'm not chasing closure I'm not chasing closure. It's more that I'm looking at things from the present and I'm like, okay, this is where I'm at now. Like closure from like past relationships that ended and things like that. I feel like I had a point where I used to dwell on it too much and overthink on it. And now it's like I live in the present and it's like things happen, people leave our lives, and you know, we enjoy relationships the time that they last, but you have to live in the present and you have to move forward in your life, and you can't be tied down and dwell on things from the past. Like my dream woman, she's in the present and she's like kind of carefree. She doesn't overthink things. She's like, okay, well, you know, it wasn't meant to be. For whatever reason, my time with this person or these people didn't last long, and it didn't last, but we move. I learned the lesson, and I appreciate that time. I appreciate that person, but for whatever reason, we didn't align, and it's fine, and I can still have beautiful, fulfilling relationships moving forward. Yeah, so I feel like I'm glowing differently recently, not because life is perfect, but because I'm finally showing up for myself and committing to myself, pouring into myself without shame, and just embracing that the only person that will ever fully understand me is myself. And so that relationship is worth investing in. Please let me know if you are also in a rebrand era and how you're rebranding. Let me know what actions you're taking to become your dream self and to step into your dream reality. Let me know if you have any tips for me. And yeah, I'd love to hear all about it in the comments down below. Also, check out my other social media. I'm active on Instagram and TikTok. My username is Dianastalkshow on both. I also have a monthly newsletter. I'm going to be posting a newsletter for June very soon, and I will put the link down below. Don't miss out. So you can get my email newsletter in your email inbox every month. I share my writing and filmmaking life on there, my updates, so creative tips for your creative journey, things like that, inspiration, motivational boosts, all of that. So definitely don't miss out on my email newsletter. I also have my Etsy shop link down below. Check it out. I have a mini ebook that's out right now. It's called How to Survive a Crush When You Feel Everything Deeply, for the romantics, the sensitive, and the ones who feel too much. Yeah, check it out. It's about advice and poetry about, I used to struggle with limerence and all-consuming crushes when I was younger, and it really affected me, and I learned a lot from those experiences and grew from it a lot, and I want to share with you in case maybe you romanticize others too much, but I want to show that you can turn that energy into art, which is what I did. I turned it into poetry, and I also gave some advice for you and empowerment to turn whatever discomfort you're feeling into art, because it's just energy at the end of the day, and you can use it to make something beautiful. And that's how I feel about my mini ebook. I feel like I made this beautiful little time capsule, right? This beautiful little document of all the heartbreak I've been through, and all the experiences I've been through, right, with crushes and people I've dated and stuff. So yeah, check it out, and I'll talk to you next week in next week's video. I'm posting weekly on YouTube this summer, so follow along for the ride, for the journey, and thank you so much for watching and for being here. I appreciate you so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.